2026 Electoral Act demand fresh amendments. Suspected Lakurawa terrorists kill 6 worshippers in attack on Kebbi Mosque. National Assembly, FAN, hold closed-door meeting over Murtala Mohammed International Airport fire incident. On the foreign scene, former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton testified in congressional Epstein probe. Good evening. This is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. My name is Damilola Raphael. Opposition political parties have rejected the 2026 Electoral Act recently passed by the National Assembly and signed into law by President Bola Tinubu. The parties called on the National Assembly to immediately begin a fresh amendment process to remove what they described as all obnoxious provisions in the law. The opposition was made known at a press briefing themed Urgent Call to Save Nigeria's Democracy, held at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel in Abuja this afternoon. In a communique read by the chairman of the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Ahmed Jaduje, the opposition leaders called on the National Assembly to immediately commence a fresh amendment to the Electoral Act 2026 to remove all obnoxious provisions and ensures that the Act reflects the will and aspiration of Nigerians for free, fair, transparent, and credible election. Some of the opposition leaders present at the event include former Senate President David Mark, former Russian State Governor Rauf Aregbesola, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amechi, and former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi, all from the African Democratic Congress. The security matters. The Ondo State Police Command has launched an investigation into Wednesday's attack on the church in Ondo State, where 5 worshippers were abducted. Armed men stormed the church, a branch of the Celestial Church of Christ, at about 1 a.m. while a service was ongoing, and abducted the worshippers, taking them to an unknown destination. Appearing on a news chart this morning, the Ondo State Commissioner of Police, Adebowale Lawal, said the identities of the perpetrators and their motive would be revealed after investigations are concluded. The police commissioner disclosed that residents have been advised against organizing religious activities at night. While acknowledging that there is freedom of worship, he noticed that the current security situation does not support night services. Following the abduction on Wednesday, residents staged a protest to demand government action. The protesters barricaded the busy Akure-Owo Expressway, leaving motorists stranded for hours.
The organization will to come out with the identity and the motives behind the attack on the church. Whatever, let me quickly say this. Ondo State Command has advised the group people of Ondo State that for this period, religious activities should be limited to daytime, not nighttime. That incident at Owo, that church was attacked at about 2 o'clock in the middle of the night. That is contrary to the advice you give. We are not saying people should not worship because we have freedom of worship, but then the situation of grant does not encourage us to start carrying out our worship maybe in the middle of the night and more so in isolated areas. If you want to do such a thing, inform police so be able to provide adequate security for the group. For the worship, not in particular. It's surrounded by vast and mangrove forest. So it creates a fertile land for these bandits, hibernate in the forest, come out, attack soft target, and run back to the forest. But we are aware of this, and that is why we ensure that to the best of our ability, we're going to take the fight to them in the forest, do a lot of bushcombing in collaboration with the local hunters, Nigerian forest guards, and as well as the Amotekun. I think that is just the simple reason. And again, the sharp boundary, that will go up from the forest, from Akoko side, we can traverse down to Owo. Owo is in between. If you are coming from Edo now, you can enter Owo through Edo. If you are coming from Ekiti, you can enter Owo through Ekiti, the boundaries. Then the same thing with
Suspected bandits have reportedly abducted 4 members of the same family in Babanla community, Ifelodun local government in Kwara State. The abductees were said to have gone to the farm as early as 5 a.m. on Wednesday when the incident occurred. The chairman of the Ifelodun local government, Femi Yusuf, confirms the incident to newsmen in a telephone chat. The source hinted that the armed men invaded the farmland at the outskirts of Babanla unannounced, firing indiscriminately into the air before whisking the family members away. The source added that the assailants initially seized 5 persons, only to later release an elderly man. The identities of the abducted victims had yet to be officially confirmed as of the time of this report. Also, the State Police Command had yet to issue an official statement regarding the incident. Staying with security, suspected Lakurawa terrorists have attacked a mosque in Dadinkowa community, Meyama local government area of Kebbi State, killing 6 worshippers and injuring 3 others in what security authorities described as a reprisal attack following a failed ambush on a military convoy. The gunmen stormed the mosque on Wednesday evening while worshippers were observing prayers and opened fire indiscriminately. Confirming the incident, the State Police Public Relations Officer, Bashir Usman, said the attack was carried out in retaliation for an earlier confrontation with troops of the Nigerian army. He added that 5 worshippers died from gunshot wounds sustained during the mosque attack, while 3 others suffered varying degrees of injuries and were evacuated to nearby medical facilities. Local sources confirmed that 6 people lost their lives in the attack and were buried in accordance with Islamic rites. The hometown of Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Fintiri, Madagali local government area, has again come under attack, marking the 4th assault in 5 months. It was reported that Madagali was previously attacked on October 1, 2025, November 19, 2025, December 8, 2025, and most recently on February 24, 2026. The latest attack reportedly claimed dozens of lives, according to various local sources. Mr. Muhammad Yusuf from Kachinga, the governor's village, told newsmen that suspected Boko Haram insurgents invaded the village around midnight on Tuesday, killing several people. Another source suggested that the attackers operated in a coordinated manner, indicating possible insider assistance. When contacted, the Adamawa State Police Command spokesman, SP Suleiman Ngoroje, said authorities are still gathering information on the total casualties. In the meantime, the Bauchi State Police Command has announced the deployment of massive security personnel and enhanced weaponry to troubled communities in a renewed effort to curb banditry and prevent any breakdown of law and order. Speaking during a press briefing this morning, the State Police Public Relations Officer, Nafiu Habib, says the move followed a recent resurgence of security concerns in Gwana, Digari, and Kafinduguri, all located in Alkaleri local government. Habib explained that the deployment was carried out through joint operations involving the police, the military, the Department of State Services, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, and other security agencies. The police spokesman reassured residents of Mansour Town, who reportedly fled their homes over fears of attacks, that the security situation remained under control. The command further assured residents of Alkaleri local government that there would be no safe haven for bandits in the area, stressing that security operations would be sustained. And to the courts, the Federal High Court in Abuja has adjourned indefinitely the alleged terrorism financing case against the Bauchi State Commissioner for Finance, Yakubu Adamu. Justice Mohammed Umar orders the adjournment after informing the court that the prosecution, led by M.O. Adebayo, had written to the Chief Judge expressing discomfort with the handling of the matter and requesting the case be transferred. The judge said the Chief Judge had yet to respond to the letter. Defense Counsel, Chris Uche, SAN, expressed shock at the development, arguing that any communication to the Chief Judge or presiding judge ought to have been copied to the defense for input. He describes the development as unfair, adding that the right of the defense had been taken away by the failure of the prosecution to copy it on the letter. In response, Justice Umar noted that the issue was administrative rather than judicial, adding that he was not expected to continue hearing the matter in view of the letter to the Chief Judge. Adamu and 3 others are facing a 10-count charge bordering on terrorism financing and money laundering in a suit filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The defendants were initially arraigned on December 31, 2025, before Justice Emeka Nwite, who sat as a vacation judge and pleaded not guilty. In another development, members of the Senate and House of Representatives Committees on Aviation held a closed-door meeting with the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria following an inspection of the damage caused by Monday's fire at Terminal 1 of the international wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport. The lawmakers arrived at the airport at about 3:07 p.m. this afternoon and immediately inspected parts of the affected terminal before proceeding to a closed-door session with the management of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, led by FAN Managing Director Olubunmi Koko. It will be recalled that a fire razed the section of Terminal 1 of the airport on Monday, destroying critical infrastructure and equipment. The incident has drawn the attention of stakeholders and government officials to the facility. Earlier, the chairman of FAN's board of directors, Abdullahi Ganduje, lamented the loss of equipment, particularly that belonging to the Nigerian Meteorological Agency and the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency. He described the incident as a major concern to board members and noticed that the cause of the fire had yet to be ascertained as relevant authorities were still investigating. Moving on, the meeting between protesting union members and representatives of the Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has ended without a resolution as demonstrators insisted their agitation would continue. Union leaders presented their concerns to the DG's representatives, a director within the agency, and the special assistant to the Director General during closed-door discussions. However, no agreement was reached at the end of the engagement. Operations at the Lagos office of the agency were disrupted on Wednesday after protesting members of the National Union of Food, Beverage, and Tobacco Employees barricaded its premises in Isolo. The protesters are demanding that NAFDAC will consider what they described as the strict enforcement of the ban on sachet alcohol. Instead, the union is calling on the agency to shift its focus toward regulating access to sachet alcohol, particularly restricting sales to children, while intensifying public enlightenment campaigns on responsible consumption. Elsewhere, Nigeria has formally declared its bid for membership of the United Nations Human Rights Council, UNHRC, for the 2027 to 2029 term. In a video statement, Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tugar announced the country's candidature, describing the council as an important platform for dialogue and international cooperation on human rights. He reaffirmed Nigeria's readiness to collaborate with the council's mechanisms, stressing that the instruments are vital for the global promotion and protection of human rights. Tugar highlighted plans to finance safe schools and strengthen secure learning environments as part of government efforts to protect children in the face of security challenges. The minister also pointed to economic reforms, social investment initiatives, and the country's expanding digital economy as measures aimed at fostering development and stability. Nigeria previously served on the council until 2020 after its re-election for the 2018 to 2020 term. Elections to the council are held annually, with members serving 3-year terms.
Nigeria remains steadfastly committed to multilateralism and the universality of human rights. Our conviction is guided by the principles of the UN Charter and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Domestically, these fundamental rights and freedoms are guaranteed under Chapter 4 of our Constitution. Accordingly, we believe in the capacity of this Council as an indispensable platform for dialogue, prevention, and cooperation. As such, Nigeria reaffirms its full cooperation with the Council's mechanisms as vital instruments for global promotion and protection of human rights. Mr. President, we live in an era where international peace and security are under siege, threatening the hard-won gains of democracy. These threats are not peculiar to any single state or region. They are a global crisis demanding collective resolve. While no nation is immune, Nigeria's experiences have only deepened our resolve to protect the right to life and the security of all citizens especially our children, whose right to learn in safety is a sacred priority. To this end, we've accelerated the National Plan on Financing Safe Schools, providing critical investments to secure learning environments. We're also strengthening accountability through ongoing reforms and regional and international cooperation to ensure international human rights and humanitarian standards are mainstreamed into all internal security operations with the primary focus of protecting civilians. Nigeria remains resolute in its commitment to freedom of religion and belief. We view the peaceful coexistence of all faith communities as the essential foundation of our national unity. Nigeria remains resolute in ensuring a society where every citizen, regardless of creed or tribe, stands protected under.
Still to come, protesters storm Kaduna State Government House, demand El-Rufai's probe. We will bring in more on this when we return.